Hi guys.
Hello everybody.
Hope you're having a good night. You're supposed to say who you are.
We're having a good night. Hope you are. Andy Smith and Jennifer.
Jennifer, we're the Smiths. Okay, so we
practice, can you tell?
So we have some great things to share with you tonight. I can't remember what I put in the heading, but I'm going to tell you a story. Okay?
We've already forgotten.
No, it's about pain. It's about pain. I remember that part, right? So, I have a story about pain for you. So one night I'm in the kitchen and cooking dinner or whatever, and I had this glass of water in my hand, and somehow it just slipped from my hand. It hit the edge of the stove there, and I saw this piece of triangular shaped glass flying at my hand, and it hit my hand and stuck in my hand. And I was freaking out because I thought, oh my gosh, for sure I'm gonna need stitches. And you know, my husband, who's a man, says, let's just wait till tomorrow.
It's not that bad. It's just direct pressure will stop the bleeding.
We'll just put a Band-Aid on it and see what it looks like in the morning, right? But it's like, oh my gosh, I have this piece of glass sticking out of my hand. I knew I had to go to the hospital. I knew I had to have stitches. And, you know, probably the funny thing is, the most painful thing was like the shot they give you, if you haven't had one in 10 years,
the tetanus shot.
The tetanus shot. Oh man, that was awful. But anyway, so yeah, so pain. So we've all experienced pain in our lives, right? Probably some type of physical injury or having babies for you women. That can be painful, right? And we respond to that pain. And usually if it's like our body having pain, we're pretty gentle. Of course, I have to joke. I think my first response was a swear word and freaking out and knowing, oh my gosh, I have to go to the hospital. But so we respond to this pain, right? But how many of you have had emotional pain, and how many of you had emotional pain caused by someone close to you, like your spouse, parent, child, right? That they've done or said something that's caused a great deal of pain. So I want you to think about that for a minute, how you've responded to that type of emotional pain.
That reminds me of the parable of pain in the kitchen. So,
another kitchen story.
Another kitchen
story.
Oh no,
kitchens are dangerous.
So the wife is preparing the meal. She's in there getting busy. She's got burners on the stove, and things are heating up, and pans and things, and there's ingredients here and there, and she's really, you know, getting into it. It's go time. It's time to get this ready for the family. The husband comes in and sees how busy his wife is, and he's got a few minutes, and he wants to be helpful, so he comes in and how can I help? And he dives right in there, and so they're both working really close together around the stove and helping each other, and it's going well until all of a sudden the wife somehow accidentally touched a hot pan or the side of the hot stove and just
one of those things.
Something. But as they were so busy working together, she touched something, and just, you know, your response to pain is you have these reflexes, and she just, wow, jerked her hand back from the stove, and, well, her husband was working close by, and he got an elbow right in the side of the face. So now they're both in pain, right? And what is the response? Like she said, sometimes our first response is,
dang it.
or
shoot.
Some word that we normally don't say. Yeah. But besides that, after that, what is your response? So this little story in the kitchen is a parable for relationship things that are going on. It seems like the people that we're closest to, the people that we love the most, have the potential to bring us the most joy and fulfillment in life, but also at times bring us the most pain and hurt in our relationships. And so This husband and wife, they could sit there, and the wife could be all, because of the pain that she's having now, she could be all really upset with her husband. Had you not come in here and crowded my space, that would never have happened.
It's your fault.
And he's all, if you'd have been watching what you were doing, then I wouldn't have got an elbow in my face. You know, then they could just be at each other now, and this will be a forever wedge in the relationship, come up again and again and again. And it's like, he's walk out. See, if I ever offer to help again, great, good. Don't ever offer your help because it causes me pain. And then it just spirals downward. That can be their response to that situation. On the other hand, they're both hurting. They could say and realize, well, we were both doing our best to help each other. Can we not assume, can we just not make that choice and assume that we're all doing our best, even if we're causing each other pain once in a while? Assume that we're doing our best to help each other. That's one way that we can get through this. The other thing is, remember how you respond when you have physical pain. Can you imagine your
Have a piece of glass in your hand. They did amazing. You can't even see a scar. He stitched it up awesome. But anyway.
So
yeah.
I've had cuts and burns and torn ligaments and sprains and all those things, and I have never responded to a painful part of my body by slapping it and beating it with a stick and mistreating it that way.
And cursing it.
Maybe did that.
Well, yeah.
So think about that. So when you respond to the pain in your body, you hold it gently, kindly, you nurture it, you coddle it, you love it. The part of your body that is hurting you the most, you give the most love and attention to, don't you? That's how you heal it. Can we learn to have that response in our relationships? Think of your spouse, or if it's between a parent and child, think of your parent or think of your child that is hurting you as a part of you. The part of you that is hurting the most, your healthy healing response is to nurture it, cuddle it, grow it, heal it.
Heal it is the best word there.
Healing, we want to heal from our pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so the point of these stories is that we can learn to respond with love and healing to those things that hurt. So the part of your body that hurts, you love the most. And your close loved ones are a part of you. And if they are hurting you, that means they need the most love and attention from you.
So I want to go back to the kitchen parable. This idea, you may have heard that hurt people hurt people. So when the wife burns her finger on the pan and she elbows her husband, he might not know in the moment why he just got elbowed in the side of the face, right? He might not realize what just happened. So emotionally speaking, we might not realize what just happened. Why did I just get elbowed in the side of my face, right? And so just have a few things for you to think about with that.
Unless you can see inside the workings of the mind of the person that just caused you pain, you won't see what just happened.
Right. So you've heard that term that don't judge somebody until you've walked a mile in their shoes or their moccasins, right? And so that's part of it, is realizing that underneath the pain that they just caused you to have, they have their own pain. So first tip is, when you're emotionally injured from somebody else, whatever you need to do for some emotional self-control, taking a deep breath, taking a step back and thinking, they must be hurting, or, oh, I just got a piece of glass in my hand. So imagine that this is them and they're injured in some way. They are injured. And it's really interesting because anger is such a strong emotion, and especially if you feel like you've been hurt from somebody else, sending these little fiery darts of anger at you, realize that anger is a secondary emotion. Underneath that, they're having some kind of fear. they're having some kind of sadness or any other kind of negative emotion that ties into the pain that they're experiencing at this time. And so when we can think about that and not react to people, even if you can step back for a minute or two and take a deep breath, you might start understanding a little more where they're coming from. And if not, maybe it's going to take a day or two or a few weeks, right? And some of us need therapy. Some of us need coaching. Some of us need some extra help, which there's nothing wrong with that because relationships are tough. But just learning and remembering that when people hurt you, they're hurting too.
So, recap. If all you can do is just like change your perspective, just change emotionally just a little bit to a new spot where you can see that the way to respond to pain is to love and nurture and heal it. Whether it's physical pain, but especially emotional pain in relationships. Love the most what hurts you the most.
So rather than retaliating and hurting that injury even more, do your work and find some ways to heal it.
Very
Okay?
good.
All right. You guys have an awesome night. We will catch you next time.
All right, see you next week.
Bye.